Thanks for joining me to color. Today we're going to be working on my Color Wednesday blog post for June 1st, 2016. I will put a link down in the description box to all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. The image we're using today is from the new CC Designs stamp set called Surprise. Isn't he cute? It comes with also two other little guys that you can, and a girl that you can color, and they're all totally cute. So I've stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound Solar White cardstock, so let's color. So let's start out by outlining our image, and today I'm going to use W21000 of my Color Splendor. I know that's a lot, huh? So we're going to start with W2, and I'm going to use that sparingly around some of the parts where I want it to be darkest. So let's maybe do a little bit down here underneath of his arm. Just a little bit. And then down here we're going to go along the edge of his pants. Under his foot a little bit, but over here underneath this foot, because I'm going to make him look like he's kind of jumping up in the air. I don't want him to be, he's going to be suspended. And we're going to go over here, and let's do a little bit in this space right here, because that's going to be behind everything. Maybe a little bit in some of this. A little bit of space in there between his hair there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab W1, and I'm going to add some more. So I'm going to continue off where I left my W3, and I'm just going to add a little bit in some of these places. So a little bit, a little less dark, but still a little bit shadowed. Then I'm going to take W0 and I'm just going to go all the way around. So I'm going to go completely over those two colors that I put down. And I'm not making my line terribly wide. And I'm going to go out here so I kind of catch each of these little sparkles. I'm going to fill this little section in right here. And we're going to continue around to the other side. If you're outlining first, then if you get any on there you don't want, it's easier to erase. Okay, and then I'm going to grab W0 and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom of his foot and I'm just going to make my line wider. And I'm going over those last three colors. Back around to the side. Kind of even this little jumping part out a little bit. And then I'm going to take my Color Splendor, I'm going to lay it down on top of him, and I'm going to brush out past those four colors into my white. And that'll kind of smush them all together and soften the edge of that last color. Let's go up here, we'll go like this. And this will work best too if your colorless blender is not dry, it's wet. You want to have it full. A little bit here, so I'm brush along the edge here just a little bit again. Let's work on his skin and cheeks next. For his skin, I'm going to use E21, 11, 00, 000. For his cheeks, I'm going to use R02, 12, and 11. These are my standard go-to skin tones for the moment that I like, but there are some other ones over on the store blog. If you'd like to check those out under labels, skin tones, Copic skin tones, I think. And if you have one that's your favorite, leave me a comment, and I'm happy to try it out and maybe use it in a video. So we're going to start with E21, and let's do his little hand right here first. So I'm going to do right next to his sleeve, and then I'm going to do this little indentation in his hand, underneath of his fingers, and then I'm going to give each of his fingers a little dab of color. And then I'm going to grab E11, and I just want to soften that edge, so I'm going to brush lightly on top of that. Whoops. Guess I should have went the other way. Let's do E21 first. I don't know what I was thinking. So E11, and then E21. Crazy. I put them in the wrong order in my pile here. Okay, so this is E21. Guess he's going to have a little bit darker skin than I originally wanted, but that's okay. And then now E00. And then I'm going to go over the entire thing with my E000. See if we can lighten that just a little bit by smushing it down, since I used the wrong color to begin with. Okay, that looks a little better. Okay, let's hop over here to the other arm, and let's start with a bright color this time, so E11. And for this, I'm going to go right next to his sleeve, and then down along the bottom of his hand and his fingers, and this little crease in his hand, and the back of his thumb. And then E21 to soften that. And then E00. And then our E000 to go over the entire thing. Okay, let's go up here and do his face. So again, I'm going to start with my E11. And let's go right a little bit next to his hair. Here, and I'll do a little dab down here in his chin, and I think I'm going to do a little bit right here in the crease of his mouth, right here. I'm going to blend that in over there, and actually I think I'll bring this up here to his sleeve, like that. Then I'm going to grab E21 next, and I'm going to continue to the rest of his face, so let's do this little bitty section right here. And then I just want to soften the edge of this line, so I'm going to brush lightly on the edge. Same for over here. We'll work our way back around to the other side. And then we'll do this little spot here on his mouth. And now let's add E00. I'm going to fill this little section in right here, and then let's brush this. And I'm going to do a little bit here around his nose, up here around his eye. Then I'm going to go over the whole thing with my E000. let's just wipe it across. I'm not worried that it's not blended because I'm going to do cheeks and then I'm going to come back. So let's add a little bit of cheek color with R02. And over here. And next is R12. R11. And I'm going to come back with my E00. And let's brush that right along this edge, over the top of that cheek, down along his mouth, and the same over here. And then I'm going to take my E000 and go over the entire thing. Kind of soften those edges. And soften up here just a little bit more. And then if you wanted his cheeks to be pinker, you could come back with a second coat. Let's do the inside of his mouth and his tongue next. For inside his mouth, I'm going to use E04 and R21. And for his tongue, we're going to use R35, 32, and 30. So for inside his mouth, let's start with E04. And I'm going to use that up here on the top. And come down a little bit over here. And then I'm going to take R21. And I'm going to go right over the top of that and then fill in the rest. Yeah, I think I'm going to get a little darker, so let's go E04 again. And I'm trying not to go outside the line. And then E21 again, or R21 again. And for his tongue, we're going to do R35. Let's do a little dab of that over here. Next is R32. And then across the whole thing with R30. And again, I think I'll make it just a little bit darker. So let's go R35, R32, R30. For his hair, let's use E35, 42, and 50. I'm going to start with my E35, and let's do, he's got a little dab of hair showing right here above his shirt. I'm going to fill that in, just so I don't forget. And then let's go up here and add some streaks. So let's go like that, looks pretty good. Then over here, let's do a few streaks off of this. He's got kind of different curly hair. So I'm going to go around like this. So it kind of curls back and you got a little more dark in there. And then over here on this side, let's do a couple little streaks down from the center, each of these. And same for this. And then for this one here, let's go with our part right here. And maybe a little bit from this way. And then for this little section up here, let's do away from his hat. And I want to do inside here, maybe just a little bit inside this, like that. And then I want to bring this. Oops, let me draw a line right here next to his hat, so I try not to color his hat. Let's bring some of these streaks up and around over here. Maybe like that. That looks okay, I guess. He's got kind of weird curly hair, so let's do E42 next. So for that, we're just going to add some more streaks. And then we'll come in and add some E50. And you can fill it all the way in or just put some streaks in there. That's totally up to you. I think I'll go add just a little bit more of my E35. I'll do a little bit more on this side over here. Let's hop over here and do this sparkler. For the sparkle part, we're going to use Y38 and 13, and then for the stick, I'm going to use W8 and 6. So let's start with our Y38, and let's do this side like that. And then I take my Y13, come out here maybe a little bit, like that, maybe a little bit in here more. And then for our W8 on our stick, I'm going to go down this side of our stick. If you don't use your W8 very much, take the other end off for a little bit, for just a second or two, and let it pressurize so it doesn't make a big blob. Because mine, I don't use it very much, and it's pretty wet. And then I'm going to fill it in with my W6. Nothing fancy for that. Let's work on his hat next. For the main part of the hat, we're going to use our 24, 14, 5, and 22. And for the tassels and the dots, we're going to use B95, 93, and 91. So I'm going to start with my R24 first. And let's do this side of our hat. So I'm just going to brush a little bit of color along the edge. I'm going to pop over the top of that dot. I'm going to try not to color anything else with my red. Like that dot, I just colored that dot a little bit. Bring that up a little bit. Then I'm going to add R14. Go around this dot. Around this dot. This up a little bit, and maybe bring this across over here. Then we're going to add R05. Again, I'm trying not to color everything else. I get a little crazy with my red. And then I want to fill it in with R22. I'm actually going to use this color to just brush clear across, and again I'm going to try not to touch any of these dots. Like that. That'll soften all that up together. Then for the dots, let's do B95. B95. That's pretty dark, covered that red up pretty good. And for the tassels, let's do just a little streak in the middle. And then we'll add B93. And then we'll just add a little bit to our tassels. And then we want to fill those in with our B91. And I just kind of swirl it around a circle in the center. Mush all those colors together. And finish up our tassels. I'll give these dots a second coat. Let's hop down here and do our shirt next. For that, we're going to use B97, 95, 93, and C0. So I'm going to start with B97. And let's do this cute little shirt part over here on his sleeve. And I'm going to do the cuffs and the collar with the C, so it's going to be white. Okay, and then let's do, he's kind of pointed this to this way, so I'm going to do a little bit dark here along the edge of his overalls. And then for his shirt, let's do a little dab up here next to his sleeve. And bring that around the cuff. And again, I don't use my B97 very much, so if you need to pop the other end off your pin for a little bit, do that so it doesn't make a big blobby mess for you, because mine feels pretty wet. And then B95 is next. I'm going to bring this up here around his face and just leave a little bit for my lightest color. And then we're going to fill it in with our B93. Brush this up from the bottom. Let's see, I'll brush down a little bit. A little bit of a line right here, so we're going to brush it and scrub it around. Same within here. I like that. So now we'll add C0, and for that I'm going to do this little dab at the back of his sleeve, and then I'm just going to brush up a little bit from the bottom. Same with this side. And kind of make the middle part a little bit longer. And then I just left the rest of that white. For his shoes, let's use W10, 5, and 3. I'm going to start with my W10, and again, if you never use it, pop the other side off. I'm just going to use this to fill in the top of this cute little shoe over here. And then, of course, the top of this shoe. It's pretty dinky, so be careful. That's all there is for that. Then we're going to go with W5 for the sole of this one. I'm just going to brush a little bit right along the edge, the bottom here. And then my W3 to fill that in. And then I just left the little edge part there white. Next, let's work on his pants. For that, we're going to use E47, 44, 43, and 42. So let's start with our E47 down here on the bottom of his pants. I'm just going to bring this around like this over here to his knee. And I'm going to bring this around, give it a little bit of a wrinkle right there. And then, let's see, let's do a little bit on his overall. And this side of his overall. I think I'm going to bring this wrinkle. I'm going to give it a wrinkle right here. And bring this around like this. Okay, I like that. And then let's do along this line for his bottom of his pants. And then the bottom of his pants on this side over here. And I think I'll bring this up here along the cuff, like that. Okay, then I'm going to grab E44, and we're just going to soften these edges. Bring this up like that, and I'm going to brush along the edge of some of these lines. I think think I will bring this E44 out this way just a little bit more. And maybe around the back side of this pocket. I'm going to go with E43. I'm going to use this, that. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E42. Okay, then I wanted the whole thing to be darker, so I'm going to go ahead and go back over again with E47. Work my way back around. I'll make that a little bit wider on this side again this time. Maybe come down this strap. I'll actually get the whole back of this side of his pants there. Okay, and then I'm going to go with E44. Around my pocket. And then E43. And then E42 over the entire thing. Then let's do his little pocket. So let's start his pocket with E44. And then E43. And then we'll fill it in with our E42. And then down here for his cuff, let's do E43 on this side. And then E42. And then for this side over here, let's do E44 first. Turn them around enough here. Just get around on this edge first. And I'm going to kind of bring it around like this. And then we'll add E43. And then E42. Now, in this pants here, let's see, let's do E47. I'm going to exaggerate this wrinkle a little bit right here. So I'm going to bring that down and around. So there is our beautiful surprise image from the CC Designs surprise stamp set, all colored up. If you would like to see what I did with this cute little image, head over to the store blog and see my Just for Fun Saturday card for blog post June 4th, 2016. If you have a question, make sure to leave me a comment and I'll make sure to get back to you. Otherwise, I hope you had fun coloring with me today, and we'll see you next time. Bye!